Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenly. I hope everyone's doing well. The lovers and the haters. Hope y'all are doing well. Coming outside. Coming outside of our house. It's a different, like literally a different world. Different atmosphere. It is not the same. It's even darker and more negative, and it's just really like dark and like evil energy, very low vibrational. You know, I'm very sensitive to energy, and I used to like really not like myself because I can absorb like a sponge. Like I absorb everything in the room, everything, because that's just who God made me, right? To be, for a reason, for a purpose. And I used to hate it so much. I'm like, why can't I just be normal? Why can't, and that's why I would like numb myself in my life in different ways. And, why do I have to, why can I feel so much? Like some days, yeah, some days you're not so sensitive, or like, you don't absorb everything or catch everything that's going on. Sometimes like I feel like I have some sort of autism, spectrum, or like something, but I know, like if you want to base it on like worldly labeling, I feel like I am in the autism or spectrum, or like sensory, very sensitive to like sensory, and like I can't, it's gotten worse, honestly. I can't focus when there's so much noise going on. I really can't focus. I can't zoom out of like what's going on around me. Like I literally, if I have more than two people speaking, I can't focus at all. It's gotten worse. And that just means like worldly matters, like worldly point of view. It's gotten worse. But if you look at it in a spiritual sense, in a sense like that God has given you these gifts, right? You are this way because God created you this way, and He is like amping up your gifts. Like they're getting stronger. Then we look at things in a positive way, right? In a spiritual way. That's the goal. I see online, or when I get the chance, like it comes on my For You page, random tarot card readings, random spirituality, like new age stuff like the universe and this and that. Like I'm seeing the truth by the weeks. I see more of the truth, and I'm very grateful. But I see how there's more younger people, and just people in general, who are more having like speaking the lingo, the vocabulary of like spiritual, new age spirituality. And that's not it, you know? Like, that's not the truth. I understand people are trying to, like, they're aiming towards, like, finding that freedom, liberating themselves, changing their lives, creating new. But this is not the way. The way is through Jesus Christ. That's the way. And that's the only way. And that's the truth. That's the ultimate truth. Everything else is false. Okay? So you guys need to really understand this is the way. There is freedom in Jesus Christ, in God. It has nothing to do with religion. So start separating that. Start separating those categories, because it does not go together. And I'm telling you guys from experience, from being in like growing up with tarot, growing up with spirituality, growing up with crystals, growing up with all these things, because my own father made it to be normal. And he, you know, like with candles and everything, like just normal stuff. You know, you could put curses onto people just by speaking about a person, someone's name, like in your mind, energetically, using a candle. That's witchcraft. Okay? Simple as that. And you guys need to understand that this new age stuff is not of the Most High. It's not real. It's not. It's really, really demonic stuff. It's dark. Even if it's illusion, if it's like the veil is over these objects. The ultimate freedom, the ultimate peace, and just liberation within, understanding, and eye-opening, and just revelation, gaining clarity in life. Literally gaining clarity. If you feel lost, if you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know anything, you're just lost. You like whatever it is in your life, everything in your life that has to do with relationships, with personal growth, personal development, right? Where you want to go in your life. God, Jesus Christ, the Lord, reveals that to you. But you have to be in it. You have to believe. You have to keep the faith. You have to not give up. Keep asking. Keep praying. Keep talking to God. Prayer is talking to the Most High. Prayer is not how they teach you at church. Like, it has to be this certain way. You speak to God. You speak to Jesus, the Holy Spirit. You ask for His presence. You repent. You ask for Him to be and to guide. And it's a journey. It's a journey to be able to listen to God, to hear Him. And that, you know, it comes in with removing things from your life that permit you, that don't allow you to be able to hear God, especially when it has to do with music. If you're banging, like, if you have your headphones in and you're always like, your music is so loud and like you know, you're always with your headphones and stuff like this, or always in the car with, listening to music out loud. Like, it's time to remove music that is like vulgar, that don't have like good meanings, that don't have like positive things. Everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own point of view. No one is going to, I mean, there will be a lot of people that won't be able to relate to you. But also a lot that will not. And that is okay. And just get in the word. Listen to the Bible. I think that is one of the best things to do. Listen to the Bible to a version that you understand. Like King James Version, for example, I do not understand anything. The wording is very, very confusing to me, right? It's like old school. For me, it's just the English version. So listen to it. If you don't have Audible, that place that you could like choose the chapters and stuff, just YouTube it and listen to it and have it as your background music, background noise, and try it out. Don't be afraid to try it out. The Bible is the word of God. It's the ultimate truth, the only truth. And my ear is ringing high pitch. Start with that. Because God will reveal things to us. Even if we're not a person to read the Bible, to open up the book, if you're not like a person to read books, listen to the Bible so it gets inside of your mind, of your, it's really, really important. That's like the most basic stuff to start with. Everyone, people who don't like to read, or who open the book and they think it's just boring to read the Bible, start with like random chapters, or Google if you want to learn about something, or you want to know about something, or you have a question about something, based on like the books in the Bible. To do with anything in your life, right? Just Google it, and then you go to a random, it's gonna show you different verses, and you just go to listen to it on YouTube, listen to the whole book related to that, to what you want to know, and that's how you start off. And then listen to the harp, listen to worship music. I like to listen to a lot of instrumental that don't have words or lyrics, to help me meditate and zone in and have my be closer to the Lord in like a meditative state. And I practice that because sometimes worship music, that speak of the Lord and things like this, depending on the type of songs, I get triggered because it's like, oh, it's becoming too religious. It's too religious. It's just too much for me, But we still want to worship. So, just being in a more peaceful, meditative state. And it's so important to remove, it's important not to follow. It's important not to follow just any person. Always you could pick and choose things that are of your liking, things that you like about a YouTuber, a vlogger, or wherever you're watching people of influence, right? Of everyday life, vlogging, whatever. Things you like and you appreciate, and add it to your life, add it to your everyday. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's not good to be a follower in that sense. My God, people are acting crazy here. Oh, Lord. The reason why sometimes, so, how I mentioned earlier. Okay, so let me finish this. Worship music is not always good for me because the times where I want to be in God's presence, like stronger and like a little bit faster, and I'm not so focused, or I can't focus right away. I'm distracted, right? Instrumental music really helps to worship the Lord. And it brings me to this like closeness and like alignment back to God's presence, His will. So I get really sidetracked when I listen to worship music that is that have lyrics and speak, because it takes me to different like reflection, or it takes me to different times of my life, or whatever it is, right? When I just want to focus on one specific thing, right? Which is being in God's presence in a meditative state, in a more quiet space, in order for me to pray, in order for me to really dig deeper, dive deeper. So, I don't know. I feel like words really like affect me or bother me. Like I'm too sensitive even to words. Like literally, if there's people who I enjoy watching YouTube, I mention it a lot because that's like my main spot. I go see people, right? I go listen to like things. I don't do Instagram or Facebook. I need to delete my Facebook, by the way. But Instagram, I just go on there for like health tips, recipes, skincare at home, natural skincare that you can do with like kitchen ingredients, or like gym workouts at home to target this area, that area, things like that. So it's kind of like a Pinterest to me. But other than that, I don't go and follow and see what this person or that person's doing, what's the new trend, what are people reenacting, or what's the popular whatever video to do at this moment, like all that bullshit stuff that does not even matter, because next month is gonna be a new trend. Like it's time to like put in the work within yourself in getting close to God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, the Lord. It's all one. Okay? But in different forms. And I've always believed this and knew this, but like there's so many opinions of everything. If it's religious folks, if it's spiritual folks, if it's just people who believe in God, but they have their own opinion, right? And believe in this, that, and the third, like everyone has their own opinion, and building that confidence and that reassurance and that like trust and like assurance that this is what you believe because within you feel it. It's not because I read this, because this person told me this, so I believe it. No, it's what you feel. What the Lord, like in His presence, what He talks to you about, what you pray to God about, what you need answers on. And it's not always going, of course, like we need a keeper. That's why it's so important to take care of our ears, of our eyes, of our mouth. Because whatever goes in, like it's going to affect us. The louder the chaos, the louder like the vulgar music, the louder like the things we see. If we're seeing like corn, if we're seeing things that are not good for us, that become addictions, things, like, what is it, cable TV, the news, all that, like if we see too much of anything, it's not good for us. So we need to quiet our mind down, our world down, or like reality that we live in, quiet that down in order to hear God. And this will come naturally. 22:11. This will come naturally. And the more you crave, the more you are hungry for the Lord, the more you are hungry to read the book of God. Like we're so hungry. Like we just want it all, like, but obviously there's steps, so we need to take baby steps in order to get what we want, to get closer to the Lord. And that comes with the lifestyles that we live as well, and sometimes we get stuck, sometimes we fall into fear, sometimes we have spiritual warfare, we get attacked. I've learned, and I am a fast learner, and I apply. When the fear is out of the way, I apply the things I've learned right away, and I zip like a rocket ship, like I zip forward. There's no stopping me. This is how I am. Like I get shit done, like real time. I just don't talk about it. When it's time to take that leap, when God says it's go time, a lot of the time I will go for it. There's some cases that I fall into fear. There's some cases that I am unsure because there's too much chaos in my life. There's too much, I'm not able to hear God because I am not in His presence, because I don't put time aside for Him, like quiet time, if it's always go, 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 that's not good as well. So it becomes really, really hard to you're confused. Sometimes, you're just confused. It's like, well, I have this choice and I have that choice. I don't know where to go. I have to make a choice. I have to make a decision. I don't know where to go. And God is quiet. And, we need to change things around our daily routines, our everyday life to become closer to God. It's never like a perfect thing that we're going to perfect it, because there's always different levels, spiritual attacks, changes within us every single day. It's like moving, unmoving. We are moving within, we are growing, we are healing, we are getting attacked, we are gaining clarity. God sometimes is quiet. Sometimes we are being tested by the Lord. There's pressure, because us as chosen ones, there's always pressure. Always pressure. Sometimes, yeah, I've learned, like, I protect my peace like no other. Now that I know, now that I have it in my life, I protect my peace like no other. So let me tell you guys about this preschool, right? Let me tell you guys about this preschool. It took me a day, right? Well, a night and a day. I slept on it. Because I've had some experience with multiple preschools, right? If I don't like something, and it's not that I nitpick, it's I know myself. Us chosen ones, like spiritual people who have gifts, who can understand, who understand. These demons, these spirits, spiritual attacks, I'm always attacked in, like, when it has to do with my son. And that's where they try to get you. Because I could give 0 Fs if someone is fucking jealous of me, if someone envies, if someone's talking shit. Do you know how many people have talked shit in my life? Do you know how many people have talked behind my back? Hundreds. And me knowing, and me not giving a shit, but keeping quiet and moving on. Me laughing in their faces and staring them right in their eyes like, I know what you're doing, and you're gonna keep doing it, and I don't give a fuck. I give 0 Fs. But when it comes, like when it has to do with my son, that's another story. If I'm taking my son in a facility, in a in-home preschool based care, I need to fucking, like, I care. Of course I care. That's where I'm leaving my son for 7 to 9 hours. It's going to bother me all day. I cannot be in peace all day. Since I drop off my son, I cannot be in peace. Because my son is not even 80-90% safe to me. So I've learned it's not like, if I'm trying to put excuses or on this and that, like, because I need to work, because I need to, etc. That's the honest truth, right? We gotta work. So I need to leave my son. I need to, in a sense, and have some type of like ignoring, knowing that my son is safe, yes, but he's not totally, because there is demonic forces trying to attack me. They've always tried to. So I just make sure my son is safe in that sense that he's not getting any attacks. If he starts showing signs or telling me little things here and there, I will know, and that's when I take my son out. Or I start looking, I start taking steps to like another place. And that's how the devil tries to get you, right? That is my spot, my soft spot, of course. But I've learned that no, I'm not going to let this happen anymore. I need to make moves in order for me to get this done, get this started right away, right? This homeschooling, take the action, take the steps to have it to be that I can afford to live by myself still, to be able to pay my bills, right? But still have my son with me, homeschool him, be with my son. I used to give myself a hard time because it's like, I'm too overprotective. I'm to this, I'm to that. But no, there's fucking demons everywhere. I'm surrounded by them. The other day on Tuesday, so much happened that day. And okay, so another thing, I've taken off the pressure on myself on posting on YouTube until I feel comfortable, until I actually make a plan on what type of videos I'm going to be making. Maybe every Monday I'm going to make this type of video, talk about this topic. Every Tuesday I'm going to talk about a different topic. Every Wednesday I'm going to talk, I need to sit down and it's going to take some time to actually have things more organized. So I'm not going to put that pressure on myself to post every day. I'm going to post whenever I feel 100% because I need to take care of myself today. Well, from now on. Mental, emotional, spiritual, I need to focus on being in God's presence. I need to, not that I'm not taking it seriously, but it's a distraction from me and the Lord, from me and being more in the Word of God, for me, and really focusing and being quiet meditation. I've had zero peace my whole life, so I need to be selfish and greedy at this time and really just soak in the grace, the peace I have, being in God's presence, not having any chaos, having control of my life, and the last straw was with this preschool. On Tuesday was such, and that's why I don't like going out of my house sometimes, because shit happens, man. And Tuesday was a fucking crazy day. I was so drained. I saw so many things. I got so many revelations, clarity, answers that day. I was like, what the F? How many monitoring spirits do I have? I get creeps and chills all over my body. This shit's sick. I know I'm protected. I know I am good. But fuck. So many monitoring spirits. People, family members, past, exes. I got confirmation on Tuesday and I was like, hell no. Then my Wi-Fi, I feel like my father's paying for my Wi-Fi through the phone company. I need to cancel that shit because I know I'm being heard through the fucking Wi-Fi box. My brother reported my old phone as stolen when I was trying to sell it a few days ago. right? Because I don't need an iPhone anymore. My father paid for my phone. I switched carriers like a year ago. So that phone has been off of like this specific carrier. And then I sent out the phone. And a few days passes by and the company tells me, oh, we can't accept your phone because it's reported as stolen. I said, what? And I had anger like for 3 seconds. I said, what the F? Like, through an email, right? I'm like, what's going on here? Like, everything's right, you know? Everything's right, you know? I don't know what's up, right? And then I'm like, okay, well, my brother has control over the account of like everything to do with the phones and all that. I'm like this, and then I saw my brother on Tuesday passing by like my house. I was going towards my house and he was passing by. This kid doesn't ever go out, and I know he watches my videos, and he is a monitoring spirit, very, very dangerous individual, very dark and pitiful individual. Okay. So that's the main reason why I'm like, I'm not going to be online. The devil tried to put fear into me. I am protected by the Most High. No weapons formed against the enemy will prosper ever. Okay? And then I keep seeing these repetitive cars of 2 people, 1 female, 1 male. 3 people actually. And I keep thinking of this person and that person, and I saw that person. It's like, I know, I just got proof, I got clarity, I got my answered questions, prayers to the Lord, right? 37. And then this thing with the director. You know, it's like I was getting attacked that day, right? And I am not in peace if my son is somewhere where I don't care if this individual, certain specific individual, is not in the classroom with them. If the teachers are young and they're fine, the students are fine. But if I see and I sense the school having a cloud of darkness, like dark energy, entities in the school, because it's within certain people in that school. The demons are looking at me in my eyes, trying to trigger me energetically. Energetically, it's not safe. I am not going to be at peace all day because my son is there. Not at all. As soon as I left that morning, I dropped off my son. I said, she just pissed me off. Like, what the fuck? Again? Are you fucking kidding me? Again? And right away, I sent an email. Because already, it's like my son is not going to be going 9 hours a day. That's way too long. I wanted to switch days and cut them a little bit shorter to 7, right? No email back. No email back. Not even an email saying we can't at this moment because the other 2 days, they're fuller days because their capacity. Nothing. Okay? And then I pick up my son. I'm having like I have a headache. I never got an email back from the director. I'm not mad or anything. I know it's going to happen. I know this person is going to start playing games with me. From the start, she said, this is the fastest way to communicate with me. Not a phone call, not through the app, but through an email. Because that's the way she, people reach her, and that's just her way of doing things, right? Okay, I respect it. I understood. I said, okay. So I know now. And I reached her through email. No response back. And, I slept on it Tuesday night. I woke up Wednesday. I'm like being in like meditation or just, God, and help me out here. I don't know which route to go, which route to take. My gut instinct, my intuition is telling me this. Just relax and patient and like in meditation all day. Not in panic mode, not in fear state or like, oh my God, like freaking out what I'm gonna do, but just in a relax, like I need to make a choice. My son goes back to school the next day on Thursday. I text him through the app. My son's not going back to school. He's not gonna go in today. Okay. Well, we'll see you next week. An hour and a half later, I make my coffee. I send him an email. A professional email. I make sure I need to check the handbook. What are their policies or rules or regulations of like, removing your son, and so I read that and I went to go type in the email. When I said, when I let them know in the app my son was going to be absent, I also put down, because this goes to everyone. It goes to the administration, to the office, and to the teachers. That's what I was told. So when I, said, oh, my son's not going in today, I also said, okay, and Director Erica, please check your email. Because 2 days ago, you never responded back. A day went by, you did not respond again. Even to say, sorry, right now we can't, but we could cut his hours down. Moving days, we can't do that, whatever it is. No respond back. I know I'm being like, trying to like push my buttons even more, right? Playing these like high school games, like I know these games too damn well because my own mother plays them. And so, I said that 10 something a.m. goes by and I start writing this email to let them know. You have to tell them like 30 days in advance. Okay, his last day is February 27 or 29, no, 27. But his last day is today, whatever date that was. He was absent, but he's not going back. But the last day, like the state pays for my son's school, the last day will be this day. And, okay, and, being very, very like detailed, specific, because we gotta do that. And then it was the sub-director, right? It wasn't the main director who emailed back. It was a sub-director. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. It's like, whatever, like, she can't take accountability for anything, right? And that's what that is. I'll reply back in the weekdays, but they're like, okay, I accept your letter of like release or whatever, you know. I'm like, okay. It's still gonna happen. My son's still not gonna be going anymore, you know. But I had to make the choice because I cannot. If you guys knew, when these places have demonic, like these spirits that jump onto people, right? It's like the same thing, the same song over and over again, over and over again. That's what it is. That's how it feels. The same damn demonic spirits jumping from person to person. Do you know how draining that is? Even contemplating. Oh, my son has to go to school in 2 days. Do you know how draining that is? I don't want to leave my son. No one's stopping me to do or not. So make the choice, take the action, and do it, right? I'm like, you need to protect your peace. Why are you not protecting your peace? But like, I know things need to, like, time has to pass a few hours at least to make the right decision. But our minds as chosen ones, like mine has gotten so much sharper, so much more sharper and clearer. Protecting our peace at all costs, no matter what. And I'm not gonna let any stranger, any like demonic spirit, any entity like intercede with my peace. It's just, or my son's. Like I'm over that. I'm done with that. Like my boundaries are so damn strong. It's like you gotta get through the steel gate, fence, doors. Like you gotta go through God. You gotta go through Jesus. You gotta go. You like you can't get in. You can't. That's how hard my boundaries are, because I'm protecting our peace, our hearts, our minds, in every single way, right? And that's what it is. The most beautiful thing that I can't wait is when God guides you, when God aligns you, just anything, you know, God lead me, God take me here, God take me there. Like my devotion to the Lord, it makes me want to cry. It makes me so excited. It makes me so like scared, like in a way that it's like I don't know what's gonna happen or what I have to do, where I have to go, you know. That's the type of excitement that I have. And obviously I don't want to disappoint my father. And Lord, all I want to do is all day is just worship and just be in his presence, be devoted to God, you know, like, yeah, you know. And when you get to a point where you have been in obedience to the Lord, like when I was starting, like I need to remove these people out of my life because they're like ruining everything for me. I cannot be in my purpose. I cannot even start my purpose, or, you know, like start this journey, get closer to God, because these people in my life, family, friends, old people who have been there our whole lives, or or relationship partners, excuse me, these people are literally blocking us. I don't like the term. I don't like, until you get it, I don't like it. As a beginner, I don't like when people say these people or these things. Don't let people, don't let things, don't let whatever block your blessings. Block your blessings until I get it, until I'm at a level where I'm like intermediate, when I can be in God's presence faster. You know, that bond, that faith is growing. I don't like that term because I'm fucking lost right now. I'm trying to be led blindly, right? Because by faith, not by sight, not by fear. So when people speak in those terms, I don't get it at all. And it irritates me, honestly. I'm like, block my blessings. I don't know my blessings. A lot of the time, we don't know our blessings. Like, seriously. So until I get that, I don't want to hear it. Because I cannot see my blessings, so don't tell me. Yeah, I know God will give you everything you desire. All your desires, your wants, your needs, what He thinks is best for you. Who God has created you, your partner to be, your kingdom spouse, He will give that to you. He will, in God's timing, in perfect timing, right? So there's more details, there's more words that need to be spoken out. More understanding needs to be like said when it has to do block your blessings. When people, this is just like being a follower. A lot of the time, a lot of people, you know, like they talk spiritual things like this and they say, you know, block your blessings, don't let people block your like they just say it because the other person said it. It's like, no, do you even understand? Because if you did, then you would explain yourself more in depth in why you're saying that. It's just irritating to me. I don't know if someone gets like offended or just doesn't agree with me. My apologies, but that's just my opinion. There are levels to understanding like this language, you know? And if you're aiming to get into being in the presence of the Lord, getting to know the Bible, reading the Word, listening to the Bible, making all these crazy changes in your life, taking all the chaos, all the demonic, you know, evilness, darkness out of your life. People who are literally blocking you from getting to God, from being in His presence, getting to know God, because literally that's what it is. After you overcome, after you climb that bridge, that border, that wall, that border, then, you know, like things will start getting clearer. We're gonna understand more about this like lingo, this language of all like the chosen ones are people who are devoted to the Lord, you know? This is what people have to understand, like, and it's normal. I understand it's normal because there's people that are like at a advanced level. They were at a, you know, beginner level years ago. So if you're at an advanced level, you're not gonna always remember. So for you to explain when you're up here to someone who is just starting and you cannot explain well, it's very, very crucial and like sensitive, because they can go the other way immediately in a choice in a decision, like they're gonna be against it and go towards something else that's easier or that they could understand. I'm just letting things flow right now. If it makes sense, if it doesn't, it is what it is, you guys. But I don't care about likes, about views, about titles to the videos. Soon, I feel like I'll be led to put titles. If I am not led to put titles on the videos, I'm just gonna keep putting the dates. Because it's not like, oh, I talked about this, so I'm gonna put this as a title. If I'm not led to, I'm not gonna do it. But I am going to study. I am going to search on, like how YouTube works, or, the basics at least. Because algorithms and all that, I go to sleep. I like drool from like the boredom. Anything that has to do with apps, websites, understanding the behind the scenes or whatever, how it works. I don't care for it, but there is some type of like knowledge and understanding that I need to have in order to succeed, because there is a goal there is a purpose on why I am led to make videos, to start recording. Even if I don't know what I'm going to speak about, I'm going, it's like when God puts ideas into your head. God puts dreams and ideas to create, Like, that's how feminines are. Me as a feminine, that's how I am. I've learned to be more grounded. I've learned to be more like practical. Men, right away, they're more practical. It's like, if I don't see it, I don't believe it, But men of faith, men of God, they have more faith, obviously. Faith over fear, faith over sight. Like, they need to believe, they need to have faith that what they feel, what they know, what they're being told by the Lord, what they're being guided to do or led, or what they see in the spirit, it will happen. Like, it's going to become a reality, or it's not like, oh, I need to have proof and then I will believe. Shit doesn't work like that, man. If you think that way, you are losing. And you will lose in life eventually. Because before this world gets better, it's gonna go to the ground. Like, it's just a fact, like all these ways of thinking and doing and like worldly lifestyle and like idealistic views, and no, all that's gonna change, you guys. Start living in your truth, in your power. Start living in like in your own skin. Like, don't be a follower just because that's cool, that's a trend, that's it. Like, God made each and every one of us individually unique and perfect in His eyes. Nobody is alike. No one is the same. So don't ever be a follower. Be yourself. Be yourself. And if it's hard for you, then take baby steps. But start today. You will become so proud of yourself. You will be so proud of yourself. Don't be like someone else. It's okay to be inspired by people and take notes. You know, take things here and there. That's fine. It's normal. But don't ever be a follower and be like, oh, I want to wear her face. I want to have her life. No. Because I've gotten that my whole life where people want to like swap lives, destiny swap, without them even knowing the hell I go through. The literal hell, spiritual warfare on top of spiritual warfare. And it has a lot to do, obviously, by your ranking in the spiritual realm, but also with the people you have in your life. I removed every single person out of my life from my past. Every single person. I have no one. No contact with no one. In every way possible. Okay? Do you know how much peace I have in my life now? Those were the people that were blocking me from getting to know the Lord. These people have blocked me from being in the presence of the Lord, from getting to know the Lord. Like, they made God, they made like Jesus, like the enemy. They made me think and feel like, oh my God, it's so bad. But they were becoming religious. They were going to Catholic church. They were going to Bible studies. They were getting closer. They were reading the Word of God, the Bible. So how the heck are you gonna make me think and feel this way when you are, jealousy? That's how I see it now. Before, I was insecure. I was put to shame, like it's evil, it's bad. How the heck can you, it's like, make me the farthest, or put me the farthest away of not knowing God. And it's like, God has always lived within me. I know, I feel His presence, I know. But like, I would believe my elders. I would believe my family. I would believe my parents. So I was confused all my life. Once I removed every single person out of my life, everything changed. Day by day, things started getting better, getting worse, because there's spiritual warfare. You gotta fight all these demons, all these spirits, cutting out, overdoing things just because you gotta cope, because these people are in your life, That's just the honest truth. But thankfully, I am in a better place. I've taken a lot of bad habits out of my life because I don't need them. Because in the back of my mind, without even knowing it, a lot of these bad habits were because other family members would make it seem like it's okay, like it's normal, when it wasn't. You know, so really opening your eyes and making yourself aware of every part of your life. In this area of my life, in this area of my life, in this area, reflecting, examining. Is this me, or is this, why am I doing this? And why, if it's just me, why am I addicted to this? Why do I overdo this in this area? You know? As soon as we hit the road, 5 minutes in, my son falls asleep. And he's been sleeping for like an hour and a half now. This boy. There are, there's someone on, this person on YouTube, his name is Gavin something. You know, he created his own ministry a few months ago. And, very, very powerful message he had about monitoring spirits and all that. And it fucking hit me that day. It hit me because I got the realization, I got the proof in front of my eyes on Tuesday of all these monitoring spirits. And I felt so disgusted, honestly, because I could fucking see it, you know? I felt so disgusted, and I'm just like, I just want to get the heck out of here. I don't want no one to know, like, where the fuck I am, where I live, what I do. You know? And it's not, I don't know. I did feel some fear. Not for my life, but I'm just like, I'm just so done. Like, it just creeps, like, you know, these spirits, you know? And he came out with this video. I posted it on my community board on YouTube, and I think it was the following day. No, it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. You know, and he was like, he had a dream and he had a monitoring spirit too. And he was reading this like spiritual warfare prayer book or something. You know, he put the link on his, you know, down below, and you could find it on Amazon. But I'm going to start, you know, gonna purchase like $2 or $3, you know, because I am learning how to pray, and you know, need to focus on how to pray, you know, during spiritual warfare, which is the most important for me, for us chosen ones, all the time to have that automatically, you know. And just as a woman or as a man, you know, pray the right things. Or if you have children, how to pray for your kids, for your children, for your child, for your husband, for your wife. I think that's like the basic foundation to for the content that I want to create, right? Because a lot of people, they, I'm right there too. A lot of people, they don't know how to pray, you know, they don't know how to speak, what words to say in the spirit to rebuke, denounce, cancel all of these monitoring spirits, these demonic spirits, entities, in the name of Jesus. It takes time because we're like memorizing, we're like repeating, right? It takes time. So 111. 11111. Yeah, so let's go back full cycle. I'm like finishing and I'm remembering like what I started speaking about in the beginning of the video. It's hard for me to record in public outside because I get distracted very easily. It depends where I am parked, where I go, because there are some places energetically that are more lower vibrational than others. And so I try to go where the energy is more like mid, people are minding their business, people are more at a higher vibration, higher frequency, like environments, buildings, the type of people that go, everything. That I feel all that. So whenever I go, especially whenever I go to places where it's like lower vibration or people are just walking everywhere and it's just like more sketchy people that are like not so safe, or like you don't know if someone's gonna pop out on your window or in front of your car. Those places, I'm gonna be looking around everywhere, making sure I'm safe, because I'm a woman, I'm like by myself with my son, so I need to make sure we're safe, if it's in a very like traffic area, like there's a lot going on. So I try to go to places where it's more like chill. There's movement, but not so much, and it's like safer. So I could focus, but sometimes it's hard and I don't want to drive out so far. And if I think too hard or too, if I think too hard, it's like I'm not gonna be wanting to record anymore. I'm not gonna be in like the zone, focused. So that's the reason why why I look so much. I'm looking at every detail because sometimes I'm not used to the environment where I'm at, where I parked. I'm not familiar. I don't know how people are in that area, or I do, so you just have to be extra aware just in case something pops off, because that's just a reality. And now, like, there's some areas close to my house, like it's getting more low vibrational. A lot of people are out. The energy has shifted, has changed a lot. And it just feels like stagnant energy. It doesn't feel good. Like I would rather just, be home. But then if I go home, I'm like, I'm not prepared to record online. I'm like, I need to look at how my background's gonna look, how this and that. I'm like, I'm not wearing makeup or anything, you know. My health has declined this month, like, and today's the last day of January too. My health has not been so good this month. It's been really, really, really like crazy. I don't know what's going on. But I got my lady, my I don't know even I don't even know how to say it. My menstrual cycle. I got it twice this month, and that's like a concern to me. Like being so weak for so long, it's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I just have to like be nurturing myself and like eating foods that are high in iron, and so I don't become like so weak, and like I don't know, my body is like changing. I don't know what's going on, so I just gotta ride it through. But I'm just gonna focus on what I need to focus. Everything else could like wait, because I honestly, I don't know. There's not like high stress, so I don't know what's going on with my body. But an extreme amount of loss, of the red loss, if you guys understand. But yeah, you guys take care, and and watch your mind, watch your thoughts. Sometimes we just gotta stretch and be like still and meditate and just be still and not move. Just be still. Mind, body, soul. Be still and meditate and get close to the Lord. Just to be in His presence. Not for any downloads, not for any information, not to dig deeper, not for. Just be still. Just learn to embrace to be still and in peace. Like if you're sleeping, usually before I fall asleep, when I'm laying down, I meditate. You get in that trance of in between worlds. Stretch and be creative and show your love in different areas of your life. If it's through drawing, painting, writing. If you need to express things, write it down, journal. Start journaling, start writing things down, so you could take out that that sexual desire, do something in a healthy way to help you. About a month ago, I was heavily dealing with the spirit of loss. But thankfully it's been good. It's been good. I haven't had any troubles or worries. And if I do for a few seconds, I nip it in the butt. I say, nope, that thought's not for me. I may feel the desire, nope. Let's focus on something else. Let's do something else. What is it really I am craving? What is it? And ask yourself and keep searching. But push, like energetically, I don't want anything that's gonna make me be disobedient, make me feel like God is disappointed in me. You know, I know why I shouldn't be doing this, and write it down. If it's too much for your mind, like you can't capacitate, like you can't find the capacity, like it's just too much energy, too much going on in the body and the mind, and your thoughts and your feelings, write it down. To get clarity, write it down, and it's gonna help to calm yourself down. And then you can do meditation. You could do stretches, like yoga stretches in the legs area, in the back. Stretching the body will help you because your mind is going to connect to your body. So being in a graceful Zen, like meditative, holy, graceful energy, being in like God's presence, or like being obedient, try not to have like those thoughts or those pictures or scenes, you know, however you're feeling, the desires. Yoga will help you because stretching out your body, your legs, are doing poses that are like more intimate poses, but you're combining that stretch, that yoga, with combining it with your mind, your body, your soul in a positive, high frequency way. If you guys understand, I'm just picturing it in my head. And think back to whatever is like triggering you. Whatever started that snowball of desire, want, and like, yes, sometimes the body is just, it desires. Sometimes the body just wants it and feels, you know, and I've been there. But when you start thinking or desiring, you gotta nip it in the butt. You got to cut that off and think the opposite, right? It's not bad to think that way, but we are on a, like, we have to keep our word for ourselves, right? It's not for the people, it's for us. Look within, talk to yourself. 25. Okay, guys. You guys have a good night, a good day. It's time to go home. I have to use the potty. When it's time for like a bathroom break, then I know it's time to cut off the video. To stop. And I'm learning to be, you know, more private about my life. This and that, not to say certain things, certain details. But I am a person who is open. But I am learning that in order to keep my peace, I need to keep my mouth shut on certain things. But I'm learning. I'm new to YouTube. You know, it's who I am. But I'm learning. And that is okay. There's no right or wrong, but there is us wanting to protect ourselves, what we have, our family, our peace, our joy. Not to get, you know, just to protect ourselves. But sometimes we are just so excited or happy or joyous or, you know, and we're not perfect because sometimes we are going to be talking and speaking the truth and talking crap. You know, so we're not perfect. And I'm not aiming to be perfect. I'm aiming to be myself, my authentic self, because that's the only person I want to be. You know? Okay, you guys take care of yourselves. And be gentle and kind and love yourselves and take care of your thoughts and your feelings and your desires in a healthy way, in a way that is good for us, for our souls, in a way that God will be proud of us and be proud of us. All right. Take care. Bye.